am going to introduce Fireman Josh, who's here today. And we are so excited. He's been working all night, you guys, to keep us safe. He's going to talk to us about what he does, and he's also going to talk to us about how we can keep ourselves safe. So with that, Josh, I'm going to let you take it away.
All right. Well, thank you, Lori. Good morning, guys. How are y'all doing? I really want to thank you guys all for having me here today. This is the first time I've done kind of a virtual, fire station tour, but I think it's a really cool idea, and I'm glad that you guys all got to join us this morning. So yeah. I'm at Fire Station 4 here in Salinas. So if you guys know where Williams Road is, we're out on the east side of Salinas. So I've been here the last 2 days. So we work a 48-hour. I came on to do Wednesday morning at 8 o'clock, and then we get off this morning at 8 o'clock. So we work for 2 days. So this is kind of our second home away from home, right? You guys able to hear me okay, Lori?
It's a little choppy,
yeah,
but I think it's the internet connection.
Maybe. Well, hopefully you guys can hear me okay. But kind of what I had planned for you guys this morning is I want to talk about a couple of things that are really important. There's 3 big things we're going to talk about, okay? And they're really important so that you guys can be safe and so your families can be safe, okay? So the first one I wanted to talk to you guys about is a really special phone number that we only use really when there's an emergency, when we might need, the police department or the fire department or an ambulance. So does anybody know what that number is? There's 3 numbers on that phone number. It's a really short one.
Raise your hand if you know what that number is, and I'll call on you.
Let's see. How about Carlos?
Where are you, Carlos? Oh, wait, there we go. Carlos, you got it. There you go. What's the number, Carlos?
1111.
Close. Very close. You know what?
Close.
You were only off by 1 number. It's 911. So can you guys all say that together there with your families and with the people around you? If you have an emergency, the number you want to call is 911.
911.
Right, Carlos? 911? You got it. Right on. All right. So you guys remember that number, because later, before we end today, I'm going to ask you guys again, what's that number? There'll be a little quiz. So remember that number, 911. Okay? The next thing I want to talk to you guys about before we get out to giving you a tour of the station and looking at the fire engine, and I'll take you guys inside the fire engine, and we'll sit in the driver's seat. You guys can check that out. The next thing I wanted to talk to you guys about is knowing your address, right? Knowing your house number and what street you live on. If you know your house number and what street you live on, can you raise your hand? Raise your hand if you know your house number and the street you live on. That's really important. And so if you don't know, maybe have someone write it down for you today so you can memorize it. Because when you call 911, you could be talking to another fireman, or you could be talking to a police officer, or you could be talking to somebody that works on the ambulance. If you need their help, they need to know where you're at, right? Because you can't say, come help me, and they say, okay, where are you at? And you go, I don't know. Well, they're not going to be able to send anybody to where you're at, right? So you got to be able to say, like, my house number is 353 Everett Drive, right? My house number is 353, and my street address is Everett Drive. So if I call 911 and I tell them that address, they know exactly where to send help. You guys see why that's so important? Yep. So if you don't know your street number, or your house number rather, and your street, then today write that down. Have somebody help you write it down on a sheet of paper so you can practice it. Okay? Now the last thing I wanted to talk to you guys about is having a plan if your house was to catch on fire, of having 2 escape routes, ways to get out of that house. And you can do this together as a family, right? Whoever lives with you in your home, you guys can sit down and draw a map of your house, draw up a nice picture, and then you guys talk about, hey, what are we going to do if the house catches on fire? And how are we going to get out? Can we get out the front door? Can we get out the back door? And then the last part of that is really important, to have a meeting point, right, out in front of the house. Maybe it's your favorite tree. Maybe it's across the street at your neighbor's house. But so that everybody gets out of the house and meets at the same place. So when the fire department gets there, you can say, hey, everybody that lives inside that house is out, or no, we're missing one person. And that's really helpful when we get there, so that we know if we need to rescue you or if we just need to put the fire out, okay? So those 3 things are really important, and we'll touch on them again before we end today. But those are some really valuable things that will help keep you safe. You guys can be heroes if you know the phone number and you know where you're at, right? If you know your house number and you know your street, you guys can absolutely be heroes and help people when they need the help of the fire department, okay? So a couple of things real quick before we go on our virtual tour. And I just want to tell you guys, there's a lot of noise in a fire station, okay? The motors are loud. The radio's going right now. You can probably hear in the background. So you might hear some noises. I'll try and keep things as quiet as we can. But I wanted to give a shout out to a couple of folks before we get started. I got this drawing here from Faith. Whoops, this one here is from Faith. This got delivered to Fire Station 4, and I wanted to say thank you, Faith, for drawing this. This is very cool.
Wave your hand.
We're gonna put this up on our wall. I see you over there, Faith. Don't be shy.
I
Don't
am
get embarrassed. This is a great
I'm
picture.
Gosh.
And
You did a great job on it.
It's a firewoman
We're
job.
gonna put this up. I noticed that. Did you know our fire chief's a woman?
Mhm.
Our fire chief's a woman.
My mom pointed out. My mom did.
Is that right?
Yeah, my mom did.
Well, you get
Mom
credit for it.
did.
That's okay. Yeah, our fire chief's a woman, and she's a really good fire chief. Hi there. So we're going to put this up on the wall at Station 4. And if you guys want to send me more pictures, we'll put more of them up. But I got one last one I wanted to give a shout out to, Casey. I got this picture from Casey. Thank you for sending this in, Casey. Where you at? There he is. How you doing, bud? We're going to put this up on the wall.
Yay!
So if you guys want to draw more and give them to Miss Lori, we'll put them up here at the firehouse, okay? And then we'll save them until maybe you guys can come visit and have an actual tour and be here in person, okay? So real quick before we get started, I was going to show you, this is my helmet. This is what we wear when we go into the fire.
Cool.
Takes a long time to fit all my hair in there. But that's our fire helmets, and you're going to see a whole bunch of them when we go out there. Everybody's gear is hanging on the wall. So I think what I'm going to do now is I'm just going to kind of walk around the station and show you guys, because I told you guys this is kind of our home away from home, right? We live here 10 days a month. So we're at home 20 days a month sometimes, and then the rest of the time we're here at the firehouse. And we sleep here, we cook here, we shower here, we do everything. We do laundry here. We do everything you would do at your own home at our home away from home here, okay? Some guys cook better than others. You know, some guys we'd just rather not have them cook at all because they're not very good cooks. All right, so I'm going to start walking around here. We'll kind of show you guys. This is what we call the day room. So if you guys can see this, we've got some comfortable chairs to sit in, and we got a TV back here. And then this is our kitchen here. See the sign up behind me? Station 4.
Mm-hmm.
So we're engine 4 because we're out of Station 4. And I'll show you engine 4 here in a few minutes. I should probably go out there before they get a call so you guys can get a look at it. this TV behind me here, this is when you call 911, your address pops up on this TV, so we know where we're going. And then we go out and we look at the map and we drive to your house. So this area behind me here is the kitchen. And this station's pretty old. It was built in the 50s. And so it stood the test of time, but it's nothing too fancy. So you see here we got 3 fridges. There's 1 fridge, 2 fridge, and then there's a 3rd fridge back there behind me. So we have 3 shifts in the fire department. So each shift gets their own fridge to keep their food in. So when it's their shift and they come on duty, they have their own place to keep their food. So what do you guys think? Should we head out and take a look at the fire engine?
Yes.
You want to do that?
Yes.
All right, let's do that. Does it look weird that when I'm walking like I'm floating in the air?
Very cool.
So here at Station 4, we have 4 fire engines, and this yellow one here behind me, this is engine 323, and this is the engine that goes out on the big wildland fires in the mountains, big grass fires and tree fires that you see all over the state of California. And this engine here, this red one, that's a convertible. It's a really old fire engine. It used to be in service about 20 years ago, and we redid it. We put a new paint job on it, and we use that for parades now and special events. It's kind of a cool old fire engine. So this next one I'll show you is our airport fire engine, because we're really close to the Salinas Airport here. And this one's kind of an interesting guy. See, he's got a big water gun right here in front.
Whoa.
This water gun squirts water
cool.
with a joystick from inside the fire engine. So this one's a big one. It carries a lot of water and a lot of tools for putting out airplane fires. And then this fire engine here behind me, this is engine 4. This is our first out engine. This is the engine that runs to all the structure fires and medical aids that happen out here on the east side of Salinas. So this is our newest engine in the city. It's only about 1.5 years old now. So you can see engine 4, engine company 4, and then we have this cool sticker up here. This is our logo, if you guys can see it. Salinas City Bomberos. That's our east side t-shirt that we have out here. But I'll show you guys inside. So on the fire engine, there's 3 of us. Okay, and so there's a fireman that sits in the back, and he's the guy that's going to pull the hose and go into the house. And he goes into the house with the fire captain, who sits on the other side in the front seat. And the fire captain kind of sets the plan in motion, right? He gets everybody working together as a team and lets everybody know what the plan is. So he sits over here on this side. Let's see. So he's got the computer. You guys see the computer up there behind me? And that'll tell him where we're going and what we're going to, what kind of help it is that you guys need. And let me get over here to the other side. We'll go sit up in the driver's seat. That's where I sit. See the bell? Did you hear that?
I hear it.
Loud. All right, let's jump up here in the driver's seat. We'll turn some lights on in here. Might get a little noisy here for a second. There we go. Can you guys see everything okay? So this is
Two. Respond to medical emergency at 317 West Curtis Street. That's North 2nd or 3rd. That is halfway.
So that's what what it sounds like when you call 911. That was our radio. So that tells us, not this engine company, another engine company is going to go to 317 West Curtis Street. So when you're a new firefighter, you have to fill out blank maps of the entire city. So you have to memorize all the streets in the city so that you know where you're going.
Wow.
So it's kind of a challenge when you're new, and you might not know the city very well, but you quickly get to know the city. So this is where you guys see there's lots of computers on the fire engines nowadays. It seems like there's lots of computers in all of our lives now. But this is a computer here that'll give us different data and different things that the fire engine might need, and lets us know, how the fire engine's running. We're up here. You can see back there. Here's where I was telling you. Behind me, here's where the fireman sits in the back, and in his seat, I'll show this to you real quick. So when we go into fires, we don't want to breathe the smoke, right? The smoke's nasty. So when we go into fires, we wear our air bottles. And the air bottles allow us to breathe clean air. And so the firefighter that sits in the back seat, he has an air bottle built into the back of his seat. Let's see. Kind of dark in here. Can you see this right here? This is his air bottle. It's built into his seat. So when he sits down here, he puts it on like a backpack. And that way, when we get to the fire, he comes out of the rig with his air pack already on. He can already have all of his gear ready to go, and he's ready to fight fire. You like that, Casey? I'll show you a couple of the compartments. There's another air pack in here that you can probably see better. See, there's an air pack. And that goes on our back like a backpack so we can breathe clean air when we're inside the fire. And I'll take you around the back side of the engine. So this behind me right here, behind this wall of the fire engine, there's 500 gallons of water. So there's like a big swimming pool back there. And that's what we'll use until we can find a fire hydrant. And once we hook up to the fire hydrant, we'll use the water from the fire hydrant. But there's our ladders. They're hidden inside this compartment. There's a 24-foot ladder and a 14-foot ladder. So we keep those inside. Some fire engines, the older ones, you'll see them on the side of the fire engine, but those ones stay inside there. And then all this stuff is, all these compartments behind me have tools in them. You see there's an axe there. There's a tool that we call a Halligan. We use that stuff for breaking locks and getting into buildings that we don't have keys to. There's some more axes behind me. And the fire engine is basically, for us, is one big toolbox. It's just one big toolbox. It's got all kinds of tools to help us deal with whatever emergency we might face. This is probably the compartment we use the most. On every one of our fire engines, we have one paramedic and 2 EMTs. And so this compartment here, if you guys can see, there's a heart monitor right here. It's the same heart monitor they use in the emergency room to take a look at your heart and make sure it's healthy. We have, this box is full of all the medications we can give you if you're sick or in need of medications. Our paramedics can give you medications. And then this is our oxygen bag and our airway bag that has tools to help keep people breathing and help get you to the hospital so you can see the doctor and get feeling better. Let's see, you guys want to see the old parade engine a little bit? Go around the side here. It's kind of weird watching myself. I feel like I'm floating around.
I bet.
This this engine here, this is engine 10. It's an old engine, but it's really cool because it looks brand new. We take really good care of our fire engines because engine 4 that we were looking at up here, the newest engine that we have in the city, is about a $500,000 fire engine.
Wow.
So
A lot.
we do everything we can to take care of them, keep them clean, you know, change the oil, make sure we don't get into accidents, right? All those good things. But I tell you guys what I'm going to do real quick. I'm going to turn on the lights. Okay? We won't do the siren because that's just going to be too crazy loud. But I'm going to turn on the lights real quick so you see what it looks like when it's driving down the street, okay? In just a second. All right, let's take a look at her. A really bright light. See them all? We'll walk around here. Or in the front there. There's a bunch. Oh, pardon. Bunch up top there on the roof. See all those lights on the roof?
Yes.
See them shining off my bald head. So there's some lights along the side of the engine. There, come in the way of one down there.
Wow.
And then they use these new LED lights, which are all the fad, that are super bright lights. So hopefully people see us and they get out of the way so that we can get to your house as quick as possible. So that's kind of the back side of the engine there. And this part up here behind me, you guys see those big black panels behind me up on the top?
Yeah.
That's where we keep all the hose. That's where we keep all the hose. That's the hose we'll hook up to the fire hydrant and get water from the fire hydrant. And then, hang on, let me turn off the lights real quick, and I'll show you the fire pump. That's what gets the water from our fire engines into the house. So this here behind me, this is part of my job as a driver, is I'm the pump operator as well.
And
You see all these,
you're the what operator?
the pump operator. So this is the fire pump. So this part right here is what we hook to the fire hydrant. The water comes into here, and it'll come in sometimes between 1,000 and 1,500 gallons every minute. And then this pump behind here pressurizes that water and sends it out to all the hose lines. So the hose lines that we would take inside your house are right back here behind this. I'll show you. There's a green one. We got to make things really simple for firemen. There's a green one and there's a red one. So we would take both those hose lines into your house if your house was on fire. And then all these gauges and levers behind us are what allows us to choose where we're going to send the water, what hose lines are going to get the water, and how much water they're going to get. So I was never very good at math in school, but I had to get good at math when I became a fireman. I'm sure you guys are just getting ready to do a lot of math at school starting out. All those of you that have already gone to school, math might not have been your favorite subject, but it can be pretty important. Let's see.
I don't think we're gonna return to school yet, so I don't know.
It's not sounding like it, huh? It doesn't sound like anytime soon, at least for the next couple months. Let's see here. One thing we know is firefighters got to be strong and healthy, right? So this is kind of our workout room. I'll show you behind me here. This is our gym. So we have some. Let's see, there's some exercise bikes there. There's some weights. You can do pull-ups. There's a treadmill right here if you want to run. But we got to keep ourselves in shape so that we're ready when you guys need us. See, there's all kinds of weights back here. So every day we try to work out for at least an hour. Sometimes we work out for 10 minutes and then we have to go help somebody, and we come back and work out for 15 minutes and we have to leave and help somebody. And it just, it works out that way. But we usually try and get an hour in. So here's some of the sleeping areas. Here's one of the beds. Really fancy. Because I told you guys we stay here, right? 2 nights at a time. There's another bed, another couple beds behind me. Not making you guys dizzy, am I?
No.
Good. So that's where the crew will sleep at night. And then I think I'm gonna try and go outside and show you the front of the fire station real quick, okay? And I don't know, it might be a little bit loud, and the internet might get a little scratchy here, but let me see if we can do it without messing up the internet. That way, if you drive by this fire station, you'll at least know what it looks like from the outside.
We lost you there.
Hey.
Outside. Yeah. Let me head back inside. I don't think the internet's going to support that. Is that better?
Yeah, that's better.
Uh-oh. I think we lost him. All right.
No,
gonna-
he's there.
Is he back here?
Yeah, he moved screens.
Oh, there we go.
Is he muted?
No. We can't hear you, Josh. He's not muted on our end.
I think it's because of the internet, so
Probably.
Let's try it this way. We can't hear you, Josh. I think there's something on the...
Maybe he could try to go to where it does say mute and
Yeah, it is. It's just way.
and make sure that his audio is hooked up to his headphones, since he did cut out for a bit. It could have reset to.
Do you have headphones, Josh?
He's like, oh my goodness.
Oh no.
I don't know. Do you want to go out and come back in, maybe? I don't know.
Yeah, I would have him.
I would have him leave the meeting and then come back
Mute
in.
him and then unmute him.
Yeah, this is the main this and that's just
Josh, I think you might have to go out and come back in. For some reason, we can't hear you at all.
Yeah, he has headphones.
Okay. I think the headphones might be doing it.
We can't hear you. If he wants to leave and then come back.
Yeah, I don't know. I think the headphones might be,
Come on now.
Yay!
There.
Yeah, I think something happened with my headphones. Sorry about that.
Okay.
That was a little showstopper, huh?
it's okay. We found you.
All right, this is the first time we've done this, guys, so patient with us. We're back.
Yeah.
So it's not a.
Let me see. Where did?
All right. Well, I tell you guys what, that was kind of the nickel tour of the fire station. Hopefully, after all this COVID stuff and after we keep everybody safe, we can have you guys actually come visit our firehouse in person. We'd love that, and I think you guys would pretty much already have a good feel of where you're going. You know,
Yeah.
engines you'd be seeing. So I want to open this up now and give you guys all a chance to ask some questions. And no questions are off limits. So you guys ask what you want to ask. And if there's somebody there with you that wants to ask, then you can ask that too.
All right, so who's going to go first? Drew, you got a question?
Yeah, he raised his hand.
I just got it. There you go.
Hi, Drew.
Are you first responders?
We're first responders. Engine 4 is one of the fastest engines in the city. We're responders to nothing.
All right, who's next? Raise your hand so I can see you.
Oh, all of them.
Why was that engine yellow?
Well, that engine is yellow because when they give the fire chief's test, they ask you what color the fire engine is. The fire engine's supposed to be red, right? So that means the fire chief failed the fire chief's test. That fire engine there that's a great question because you noticed the other three were red, right?
Yeah.
Well, that engine is yellow because that engine's owned by the state of California. And we house that engine here. And so remember how I was mentioning it goes to the big wildland fires, the big grass fires and tree fires in the state. So that is just painted a different color so that they know, okay, that's a state engine. And they'll send 5 of those out at a time from Monterey County to respond to anywhere in the state of California. We have a crew right now that's up in Susanville, which is way up almost into Oregon, way up at the very top of California. And so they're there on a state assignment. And so when there's big fires across the state, fire departments, they still have to help the people that live in their cities, but they're able to help their neighbors too. So when there's a big fire, they'll call for help from fire departments all over the state of California. It's a very unique system where you guys have heard the term, you scratch my back and I'll scratch yours. And that's what we do as firefighters is when there's big fires, we'll go help and there'll be people from all over the state of California that are helping just one area that has a really big fire. Great question.
All right. Faith, you're up.
All right, Faith. How we doing?
Good. Okay. Do you like your job?
I love my job. It's got bad days like any job, right?
Yeah.
But it has really cool days too. I've probably delivered 12 babies being a fireman.
Wow.
We have really neat experiences and we've helped a lot of people. So it's a really rewarding job. Good question. Because I think it's really important that you enjoy your job, right?
Yeah.
Josh, can you tell them how long you've been a firefighter?
I've been a fireman, paid professional fireman for 22 years.
That's older than most of you guys here.
Yeah.
Maybe I delivered one of you guys when you were a baby.
Oh, Rebecca Loader, you're up. You got to unmute yourself, girlfriend. There you go.
Oh.
Hi, Rebecca.
What kind of bed you sleep?
No, what kind of
Food you eat?
What kind of food do I eat?
Yeah?
Good question.
Wait until he finishes.
I eat everything. Nah. Well, yesterday we had a really busy day. We had a lot of emergency calls. So there's a really good taqueria across the street, and I went and had some tripa tacos. But we usually try and eat healthy.
I have a question.
Who's that?
Hold on here. Go ahead. Buzzing on us here. Let's see.
I think it's Amy.
It is.
Hold on, Amy.
Yeah, we try and eat. I eat a lot of salads. I'll usually have a salad for lunch, and I might have some eggs for breakfast. But we try to eat really healthy because I show you that gym, you know. And part of our job is really important to eat healthy, stay in shape, because we've got to be ready for you guys when you need us.
Yeah.
Got to be healthy and strong and ready to go. Good question.
All right, Casey, you had a question.
Do you have firefighter helmets?
I'm sorry?
We have firefighter helmets.
We do. Here's mine right here.
Whoa, dude! I went to the firehouse with my mom yesterday.
Yeah?
Yeah?
That's my fire helmet. See, it has my name, my last name on the back.
You've got a long last name.
I do. Sometimes I don't spell it right.
So Josh, you and I were talking before we get to the next question. You and I were talking the other day about sometimes how scary it can be when we see a firefighter come into our house all dressed up in a lot of gear, and that we shouldn't hide when that happens.
Yeah, it's really important, and I want you guys to know that when the firefighters come, you know, we might have a mask on, right? And it might sound, you guys all know who Darth Vader is, right? From Star Wars, how he breathes kind of funny. We look really scary, and we don't want you to be scared of us. So if you guys are in a, you know, if your house is on fire and we need to come in and rescue you, and you see a fireman, we want you to run to him, right? We don't want you to hide or run the other way. We're there to help you guys. So I tell you what, if you'll give me just a minute, I'm going to go grab my air mask, okay? Give me just 1 minute, and I'll show you what we look like when we come into a fire, okay? I'll be right back.
I have a question.
Amy, we'll call on you in just a second, okay?
Okay.
All right, guys, while he's gone, do you guys remember, he's going to quiz you at the end. You got to remember the number that you call for an emergency.
You guys
Drew, raise your hand if you remember. Yeah? Drew, quick, what's the number? Can you tell us?
911.
All right, so when he comes back, that's very good. When he comes back, we'll surprise him with the answer, okay?
All right. I'm back.
All right.
You guys remember the backpack that I showed you in the fire engine? It was in the back of the seat, and then there was the one on the side. And there's an air tank in that, right? So we breathe clean air. So we're not breathing the yucky smoke. So I didn't want to put my gear on for you guys today because I got a lot of stuff on it last night, and it needs to be washed. Let's just leave it at that. But I'll put this mask on. You guys see that?
Wow.
Yeah.
So that's what I might look like. I'll have my helmet on.
Yeah, that does look scary.
That looks very scary.
Like Drew in the picture, right? I'd have my jacket on, my pants. So you kind of sound like Darth Vader. A little bit, if I was breathing the air through the tank. Are you guys scared of me?
Yes.
No, don't be scared of me.
Me.
You don't look like Fireman Josh in that.
So if I take this off, it's just me. But this mask is what protects us. This mask is what keeps our lungs clear and able to breathe so that we can go through the house and breathe through the smoke and breathe the air that's on that backpack on our backs. So just remember that if you see a fireman and you're in the house and you're scared, run to him, okay?
Okay.
Run to the mask.
They can take you to safety. That's right.
Very.
You're muted, Laurie.
Kingston, I think you had a question.
Right.
You have a question, Keith?
The difference between the red, yes. What's the difference between the red hose and the green hose?
There's nothing. There's no difference. It's the same hose, but what we do is we use that as a way to communicate. Is when the firefighter pulls that hose out, that red hose and that green hose, they're 200 feet long. So they'll reach from across the street all the way through your house. And we could drag them from the front of the house to the back of the house, upstairs, wherever we need to take them. But they can say, they'll radio back to me and say, go ahead and charge the red hose. Because if I think they're on the green hose, and the team that's on the green hose isn't ready for me to charge the hose, then I have them spraying water all over the place like you see on TV. So we just use that to communicate, hey, we're on the red hose or we're on the green hose. And that way we know which hose line. Or if we had a firefighter that got hurt and we needed to send a crew in behind them, they can follow the red hose in or the green hose in to find that firefighter and help get him out if he was hurt.
Wow, that was very observant.
Yeah, good question.
All right, Amy, you're up.
Hi, Amy.
She's muted.
Amy, can you unmute yourself?
Okay, so my question is, where you guys located at?
Well, we're located at 308 Williams Road. And that's
in Salinas.
We're out on the east side of Salinas.
Very cool.
Kind of by in between the airport and the Natividad Hospital.
Yes.
All right. Okay, who has another question here? Jake.
Hi, Jake.
Hi.
How are you?
Good. How about the what kind those are the hose is like that brown?
Do we have brown hoses?
Yes.
We do. Some of the hoses in the back are kind of brown.
Oh.
And they're a little bit bigger than the ones we would take into your house. And then we have a really big hose that's yellow. And it's about 5 inches around. It's about that big around.
So
hook to the hydrant.
We're getting a lot of questions about hoses here. Are they really heavy?
They are heavy. So two rolls of that hose that we take through your house will weigh about 52 pounds. They're about 26 pounds a 50-foot section. So when a firefighter takes off that 200 feet of hose, he's pulling about 100 pounds of hose, about 105 pounds of hose, and then he's also wearing about 100 pounds of gear and equipment.
Wow. 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 All right, who else has a question here? Let's see here. There we go.
Andrea.
Yeah. Gotta unmute.
Hi. I have the emergency numbers right here in my hand. I don't know if you guys can see that, but I do have the emergency numbers.
Perfect. Where do you keep that? Do you keep it like on your fridge or?
Yes. I have it in my refrigerator.
Perfect. That's good. That's a good little, right? And so you make sure you remember it and practice it so you know it.
Yeah. So if I have like an emergency, I could like call the fire department, the ambulance, or the police department.
Perfect. Now, did you hear that little chirp behind you?
No. I think it was a little bird.
Do you have a bird?
No.
You know what it was?
I have a little frog.
That was your smoke detector letting you know the batteries are low.
Yeah, it always does that every single night.
Yeah, you need to put a new battery in it.
Oh, now I know what that sound is.
Oh my goodness. You need to put that in new battery soon.
Because like every single night when I go to bed, it hears like beep, 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 and it still doesn't stop every single night.
That's a warning to let you know that the battery's going to go dead, because smoke detectors are really important, right? When you're sleeping, if your house catches fire, they detect the smoke and then they wake you up. They'll beep like that, but way louder, and they won't stop beeping. and that's to wake you up so you can get out of your house. So it takes a 9-volt battery, the little square batteries. You can get 2 of them at the dollar store for $1. All right. Well, that's good. I'm glad that happened. So now you know, you guys can talk about that with your family, and now you know why it's making that noise.
Yeah.
All right.
All right. Who else has a question here?
Glad you got those numbers posted on the fridge. That's awesome.
Liam.
Do you want to ask about the snake bites?
Yeah, bites. Yeah, snake bites.
Do you help with snake bites?
Do you help with snake bites?
We do help with snake bites.
What do you do?
Yeah.
There's not a whole lot of snakes in Salinas, right? The snake bite issue becomes more of an issue when we might go out on those big wildland fires, like out in the mountains that I was telling you about. We might come across snakes, but it just depends on where the snake bite is and what kind of snake it is. We have some medications that our paramedics could give you that might help combat some of the effects of the snake bite. And we also may put like a really tight rubber band around it to keep, if it was a poisonous snake, to keep some of those poisons from getting to your heart. And then the big key is to get you to the hospital, because hopefully they have the anti-venom and they're able to reverse some of those poisons that the snake might have put in it. But we don't see too many rattlesnakes or poisonous snakes here in the city of Salinas. If we do, it's usually somebody's got them in a cage, or got them. We've seen a few pythons in big terrariums or tanks, But good question. No, we deal with all kinds of strange medical emergencies.
Faith, I think you've already asked a question. Let's see if somebody else wants to ask one here. Chris and Carlos, do you have a question? Carlos?
Yes.
Did you always work out?
You work out?
Yeah, we work out. We try to work out as much as we can. Excuse me.
Do you get competitive working out, Josh, with all the other firefighters?
Some crews do. I'm too old for that. I don't need to compete against other guys to know that they're younger and I'm older. But no, there's sometimes we'll have little games they'll play, do different things just to get the guys moving and get them to work together as a team. Sometimes there'll be crews that like to put on all their gear and their air tank and their air mask, and then they'll play dodgeball because it gets their heart rate up and they're having to move around, and the gear is really, like I told you, the gear is about 100 pounds. And so you don't move in it like you do without the gear. It's not like sometimes we'll do that and play basketball just to kind of get your heart rate up and get you used to breathing with the mask on. We do a lot of training every shift, every day we do training. We have a new guy on our engine company, and yesterday was his second day with us. So he just came out of the fire academy, and so we did a lot of training with him because everything we do is brand new to him. So we got to get him up to speed and get him trained up.
So Josh, if I want to be a firefighter when I grow up, what do I need to do?
Well, there's all sorts of things you can do, and that's kind of the neat thing with the fire services. I look at being a firefighter as kind of like Boy Scouts or Girl Scouts, right? Is you got all these merit badges and all these badges that you can get. So, maybe you enjoy first aid, or maybe you enjoy, ropes and knots, and maybe you enjoy power tools, and there's all these different things. And so, the important thing is to study hard, get good grades, stay active, which we can do right now, even though, we're stuck at home, is get out and walk with the family, get out and get some fresh air, exercise, stay in school, study hard. And then, a lot of times people will go from high school and they'll go to college, and several colleges in the area have fire academies. They may choose to go through that. Some people take a really different route and maybe they go into the construction trade, or maybe they become mechanics and they like working on vehicles. And a really unique thing about our fire department is when our fire engines break down, is on duty every day we have 2 fire mechanics, and they're the ones that fix our fire engines. And so we don't always have to send our fire engines off to a mechanic. We have a mechanic shop at Station 1, and they'll work on our fire engines, get them back on the road. You know, guys that work in construction are really valuable to us because they know how houses are built. So when a house is on fire, it's really important that you know how it's built, because if you're going to go stand on the roof of a burning building, you need to know what the weak points of that building might be. And some people decide, you know, out of high school that they want to go work on the ambulance, and so they might go get some experience, you know, taking people to the hospital and taking care of them. And so when all the different routes that you can take to become a firefighter come together, it forms a team. You know, one of my skills is I speak fluent Spanish. So we run a lot of calls where I end up translating and speaking so that our paramedic can communicate with the patient. And so I'm able to translate and bridge that communication gap so that we can figure out what's going on with with somebody who's sick or injured. And so each member of the team brings different skills. You know, maybe they're a mechanic, maybe they worked on an ambulance, maybe they speak a different language. But those 3 guys that make up an engine company all bring their talents together in a collaborative group effort to provide the best service we can to all of you.
So we had a question before we started, and I'm going to pose it to you because I'm curious too. Do you ever get scared?
I've been scared, yeah. Yeah, I've been scared. It's yeah, fire's a dangerous thing, right? And it's not something we want to play with, and it's not something that we want to take lightly. It's you know, it's not something. If you guys find matches or you find a lighter in a park or something, make sure you give it to an adult. I've been scared a lot of times. The job we do is a job that we've chosen to do dangerous things in, and we've trained to an extremely high level to be able to take calculated risks in doing those dangerous things. And I know a lot of kids look at us like superheroes, but I think superheroes even get scared. So my honest answer is, yeah, I've had the hair on when I used to have hair on the top of my head stand up more than once. But yeah, good question.
All right, who's got one more question here? Because then he's going to give us our quiz. Let's see, who hasn't asked a question yet? Alexis, do you have a question?
Hey.
Lori, he wants to go to visit the firehouse.
He wants to do what?
Visit the firehouse.
That means visit to the firehouse.
He wants to visit the firehouse, yes.
Yeah, well, when all this is over and we're able to go out and about and spend some time with each other, we'll definitely have you guys out. And we'll get with Miss Lori and you guys can come out and do a tour.
That would be super fun. We're all ready for this to be over.
Yeah. We'll get you the hose in your hands and get you spraying some water and playing with the air horn and everything.
Awesome. All right. So we had, you were quizzing us at the very beginning, and hopefully we remember the answers because we all want to be prepared for an emergency.
That's right. So real quick, we're gonna talk about how important it is to know where you live, right? To know your house number and your street. So tonight you guys can go sit down with your families and write that house number and the street that you live on a piece of paper so you can practice it, right? And then you guys can sit down and talk about how you can escape from your home. 2 escape routes, right? In case one of them's blocked, you can get out a second way. So maybe it's the front door and the back door or the garage, and talk about where you guys are going to meet as a family so that we know everybody's out of the house safely. Then the third one's the big question. You guys remember that special phone number, the 3 numbers you call?
I do.
Well, hang on.
Oh, sorry.
You unmute everybody and have everybody say it together.
They have to unmute themselves, so everybody unmute yourself.
Yourselves. Okay, I'm unmuted. Come on, Sebastian, I want to hear you.
911.
Wait a minute.
All right, good, Rebecca. She started us off.
All right.
So,
Everyone
Okay, we do it all together.
we're all going to say it together, okay? 1,
1, 1,
9,
9, 9, 9, 1.
1-1.
911.
911.
Thank you, Fire Joe. Okay, thank you.
Okay.
And down. Everybody, what's the first number?
9, 9, 9, 1.
got it down good.
I'll say thank you to Fire Joe.
No. Keep your hand down.
And then when you call 911, what are you going to tell them?
No.
Your address, right?
Oh.
I guess.
So they can come get you, correct?
Mm-hmm.
Yes? Who here knows their address?
I do.
Yeah?
I do.
Okay.
I know mine by memory.
If you didn't raise your hand, that's your homework tonight. Got it?
There you go.
Yes.
Yes.
Okay. And then you need an escape route, right? You need to find a way to get out of the house. Why do you need an escape route?
Oh.
Why?
If we don't want princess to smoke air.
So you can get outside if there's a fire, right?
Yeah.
And then what are you going to do if somebody like Fireman Josh comes in with that big mask on his face and the helmet and looks like Darth and sounds like Darth Vader? What are you going to do?
We have to run.
Run.
Run to the exit. Run to the exit.
Run.
No, you're going
Run to him. Run to him. Run to him.
You run to him
Yeah.
Yeah.
or her, but you run to him, right?
Mm-hmm.
Run to the person with the mask.
You run away and hide?
No. No.
No. Right?
Mm.
Okay. Very good.
Yes.
Josh.
It is.
Good.
Can I tell you guys something?
Please do.
Said that.
Andrea.
Andrea, yes.
It's my birthday this week.
All right. Happy birthday, Andrea.
Thank you.
Happy birthday.
I'm gonna be 16 years old.
Oh, yeah? The sweet
Yeah.
16.
Mm-hmm.
Happy
My
birthday.
birthday too.
No, it's not your birthday.
Yeah. I was actually born in August.
Cool, cool.
Mm-hmm.
I have a daughter that's almost 16.
Oh, that's cool.
4 daughters.
How many?
4.
Holy cow.
What?
And
Yeah, so this week I'm gonna be turning.
awesome.
Congratulations. That's
All
a big
right. Can everybody give Fireman Josh a big round of applause?
Thank you, Fire Josh.
Thank you, Josh.
This was really fun. This was the first one of these I've got. It was
Thank
different.
you, Fire Josh.
Very good, Josh.
Thank you, guys.
Josh, thank you so much.
Thank you.
Bye, Josh.
Josh.
Bye.
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 Bye, Josh.
Hey, everybody.
Bye.
Bye.